You don't collapse. You don't fall apart in obvious ways. You don't miss deadlines or forget responsibilities. You don't need saving. You function. You get up. You handle things. You figure it out. And from the outside, your life probably looks fine. But there is a kind of exhaustion you carry that doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from never being able to stop being the one who holds everything together. Not just practically, emotionally, internally. It's the exhaustion of knowing that if something goes wrong, you will be the one who fixes it. If something falls apart, you will be the one who absorbs it. If someone is overwhelmed, you will be the one who stays steady. And sometimes, quietly, you wonder, why does relying on myself feel so heavy, even though I'm capable? This is not a personality trait. This is not ambition. This is not strength. This is hyper-independence. And it didn't come from nowhere. Hyper-independence is often misunderstood. It's praised, rewarded, admired. People say things like, "You're so strong. You don't need anyone. You've got it handled." But psychologically, hyper-independence is not confidence. It's a survival strategy. It forms when someone learns, often very early, that relying on others leads to disappointment, unpredictability, emotional pain, or emotional absence. So the psyche adapts. Instead of reaching outward, it turns inward. Instead of asking, it prepares. Instead of trusting, it controls. Not because you don't want connection, but because connection once came with risk. Hyper-independence is what happens when a nervous system decides the safest place to stand is alone. Many people assume trauma has to be dramatic. Abuse, neglect, chaos. But hyper-independence often comes from something much quieter. Inconsistency. A caregiver who loved you but was emotionally unavailable. A parent who was overwhelmed, depressed, anxious, or distracted. An environment where your feelings weren't met with curiosity, but with silence. You learned slowly. Don't ask too much. Don't expect too much. Don't need too much. Maybe you became easy. Maybe you became mature early. Maybe you learned to soothe yourself and people praised you for it. No one saw that you weren't strong. You were adapting. There is usually a moment, not always remembered consciously, but remembered somatically. A moment where you reached for comfort and it didn't come. Where you needed reassurance and were met with dismissal. Where you were vulnerable and felt alone. Something in you closed. Not dramatically, not all at once. Just enough to say, I won't do that again. From then on, you learned to anticipate your own needs, manage your own emotions, regulate yourself, alone. This is where hyper-independence is born, not in rebellion, but in protection. Even when your life becomes stable, your nervous system doesn't automatically update. It still believes, if I rely on someone, I could be disappointed. So it stays alert. You might notice difficulty fully relaxing, discomfort receiving help, a need to stay productive, anxiety when you're not in control. This isn't overthinking. This is a body that learned survival through self-reliance. And bodies don't forget what once kept them safe. For hyper-independent people, asking for help doesn't feel neutral. It feels dangerous. Your chest tightens, your throat closes, Your mind races with justifications. It's fine. I'll handle it. I don't want to be a burden. This is not pride. It's memory. Your system remembers what it felt like to need and not receive. So now, independence feels safer than connection, even when it costs you. Part 6. The loneliness that hides incompetence. Hyper-independent people are often lonely, but not obviously so. You may have friends, conversations, social contact, but still feel unseen. Because intimacy requires being affected by others, and hyper-independence keeps you contained. You share ideas, not needs, insights, not fear, stories, not softness. People admire you, but they don't hold you. Part 7. Why rest doesn't actually feel restful. Rest requires safety, and safety requires trust. Hyper-independent nervous systems don't trust easily. So even when you stop, part of you stays alert, planning, monitoring, preparing. You may feel guilty resting, uneasy receiving, restless doing nothing. Because somewhere deep inside your body learned, if I stop, something bad happens. Often, that something was emotional abandonment. Carl Jung spoke of the persona, the mask we wear to survive the world. Hyper-independence creates a powerful persona, capable, composed, self-sufficient. But beneath it lives another self, the one who wanted comfort, wanted reassurance, wanted someone else to carry the weight. That self didn't disappear, it was buried. And what is buried alive doesn't rest, it waits. This split creates exhaustion because you are holding up an identity that was never meant to be permanent. Hyper-independent people often struggle in relationships, not because they don't care, but because dependency feels unsafe. You may struggle to ask for support, feel uncomfortable being relied on, attract partners who are emotionally unavailable, or partners who lean too heavily on you. Equal reciprocity feels unfamiliar because you learned closeness without safety. At some point, hyper-independence stops helping. The cost accumulates. Burnout, emotional numbness, chronic tension, difficulty receiving joy, difficulty trusting. You may think, why do I feel empty even though I'm functioning? Because survival strategies keep you alive. They don't nourish you. Hyper-independence once saved you. It protected you from disappointment, from abandonment, from powerlessness. So releasing it feels like betrayal. Your psyche asks, if I stop being strong, who will I be? This is why healing feels frightening. You're not just changing behavior, you're changing identity. Healing hyper-independence does not mean becoming dependent. It means becoming interdependent, slowly, carefully, with discernment. It looks like letting someone help in small ways, naming needs without apologizing, tolerating the discomfort of receiving, allowing yourself to be seen imperfectly, not forcing vulnerability, but building safety. Receiving is a skill, and like all skills, it feels awkward at first. Your body may resist, your instincts may warn you, your mind may want to retreat. But over time, with safe people, your system learns, I can need and still be safe. This is not weakness, this is repair. Rest doesn't have to mean collapse. It can mean pausing without justification, letting go without guilt, existing without earning. You don't need to burn out to deserve care. You don't need to suffer to be held. Healing doesn't erase your independence, it softens it. You keep insight, competence, depth, resilience, but you release hypervigilance, emotional isolation, relentless self-reliance. Strength no longer means doing everything alone. It means knowing when you don't have to. If this video resonated, it's likely because hyper-independence once protected you, and you don't need to shame it, but you are allowed to outgrow it. You are allowed to be supported. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to need. Not because you are weak, but because you are human. If this resonated, comment felt. You're not alone.